As promised from the Small Business Administration on the show. Good morning, Ken.
Good morning, Chris.
Jason's also here.
Hi, half a day, Ken. Thanks for joining us.
Good. How are you doing, Jason?
He's doing good. You want to put on your headphones? You can actually hear what he's saying.
No, I can hear.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Ken, we just wanted to get up to speed because I know the last time when we spoke to you, our Nestor Lecanto interviewed you, and I guess I want to start out with the fact that you were highly encouraging Guam small business owners to get those applications as soon as possible because, like you were saying, the state of California itself on the first day when this thing really started ramping up, I think you had like 700,000 applications, which caused your servers to fall over. So has the SBA or has Uncle Sam kind of like tried to ramp up at least the technology infrastructure to be able to support the flood of applications as they come in?
Yes, they have. As a matter of fact, they changed the website initially because the initial website we had was an old website that we utilized for past disaster activities. And as a result of the influx of applications and concerns from the public, it overloaded our system. And so SBA quickly, within a week, shut down the system and revamped up to their capabilities to increase the capacity for the server.
Mm-hmm. And certainly we're not harping on any particular agency because I mean it's been a little bit chronicled now that because of the overwhelming demand for civic services and for public programs and people even making inquiries and everything like that, it's imposed such a huge strain on a lot of federal government and local government systems that like a lot of IT managers have basically said, we really got to figure out a way to handle this, has to handle the massive demand. So, like outstanding work by you and your colleagues to at least get that up. But as far as now that you can support the load, as it were, what is the application process like? And are you able to provide any sort of turnaround time for local small businesses on Guam that put in their applications?
Well, that's the challenges that we're having right now. This is an unprecedented event, so a lot of things. There's a lot of moving parts to this.
Sure.
We first ramped up by actually indicating that April 3rd was the first opening date for applications for the Paycheck Protection Program. And back in the mainland, just in one day, they issued out $3.7 billion, 12,000 loans, and we had about 875 banks that were participating in the program just in that one-day process. Mm-hmm. And so I can imagine, it's now Monday there, Tuesday here, that's probably tripled or quadrupled as a result.
Mm-hmm. I'd like to do our part as a media company to maybe kind of like help load balance, if you were, and like I'm putting on my tech nerd hat like now, but maybe if we can do so from a social standpoint to actually help redirect the best inquiries to the right channel. So what are some of the questions you're getting maybe that aren't necessarily under the SBA's purview and they could better be answered by other agencies, and like where should people go if they have those kind of questions?
Well, what we try to do, Jason, is we try to direct them to our main website, which would be at sb.gov.coronavirus. Mm-hmm. Now within that website, they can actually get information relative to the EIDL, which is the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, as well as the PPP, which is the Paycheck Protection Program. Mm-hmm. And so they can avail themselves of this information and not overload the lines asking questions about it. So they can actually get that information beforehand, educate themselves as to which program will be best for them, that's best suited for them as a business.
Okay.
And then make that judgment in terms of where do I apply and how do I go about applying.
Are you also seeing, Ken, based on the number of inquiries, and I can only imagine like how many phone calls and how many emails and messages your office locally has been getting, but are you seeing a lot of businesses like maybe small family operations and it runs a gamut from obviously, sole proprietorships, small partnerships, family-owned companies, S-corps. Are you seeing them not really knowing how to work with the SBA to this point? Because I would assume that for a lot of these types of operations, this is the first time they've ever actually interfaced with you.
Yes, you're correct, and that's something that we kind of were opposed to probably assisting in this case those who are not too familiar with the program. And so I've engaged our resource partners here locally in Guam as well as the CNMI, because both Guam and CNMI is an area that I cover. And so I realized that what the situation is, and so I reached out to my resource partners, which are the Guam Guam Small Business Development Center, the CMI Small Business Development Center, as well as the Chamber of Commerce and GCA, the Chinese Chamber of Commerce, reached out to our resource partners and said, let's find a way to help our constituents out there and making sure that they get the accurate information at the same time too. They get the assistance they need to help facilitate their loan application. Because some of them may not have a computer that they can actually use, or even be computer savvy for that matter. But what we try to do is we try to help them out to our resource partners.
Okay. Well, I'm going to steal a line from my broadcast brother here, Chris, because he's used the phrase, beacon of hope and beacon of light many, many times since we began this morning show format maybe about a month ago. But based on what I'm hearing from you and the delivery, it seems like SBA is really trying to say, that since we first talked to you again a couple weeks ago, that you really ramped up capacity, services, and the ability to accommodate a lot of these inbound inquiries and applications and everything like that. So is there anything you'd like to say directly to small businesses in Guam and the CNMI on that regard? Well,
the thing about it is that there's that area of uncertainty that all the businesses have, and I kind of heard from most of all the businesses out here, indicating that when is this going to end? When can I open up shop? Can I actually rehire my employees? And there's a lot of concerns out there.
Mm-hmm.
But for every calamity, there's an opportunity, and that's something that I kind of encourage the lenders as well as our borrowers out there to look at these opportunities, look at the areas where you can kind of minimize any cost factors, areas that you could probably reorganize and restructure, because that the whole world has changed as a result of this.
Mm-hmm.
Both from how we provide services to the way delivery of services to the actual products and services that we have to offer nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's more conscientious about health.
Yeah, Ken, what has the operational tempo been for you and your staff there, receiving, just this deluge of comments and people asking questions and everything like that? And how do you maintain, your own guidance level, and I guess your own sense of professionalism when you're hearing just these, stories over and over and over, and people are probably, giving you in exhaustive detail, what they're going through?
Well, I kind of sympathize for what they're actually going through, and the only thing I can offer is just offer assistance where I can give them at least a breath, some sort of assurance that we're here to support the small business community. We're here to provide the services they need, and we're here to guide them through the process as necessary. Other than that, they have to make the certain business decisions to either maintain their operations or to actually close down, one or the other. But
mm-hmm.
That's something that they need to make a decision on their own.
Well, I think that's very, very fair. And with this being the private sector, you've got decision makers who are now faced with like a very big decision, or probably several of them.
Yes, and that's the reality of it all, and that's something I wanted to make sure that small businesses understand what the reality is, and they really need to sit down, go through their financial situation. They need to sit down to figure out what they intend on doing for the next coming months, and so how do we staff this, and how do we prepare for the recovery efforts on their part.
Okay. And maybe my final question, Ken, because I know we want to let you and your staff get back to work. We appreciate the time that you can give us. We realize there is not a lot of it these days for you guys, and you guys are doing an amazing job. So thank you for your service to our community. But once again, and for the edification of people listening that may be small business owners, the entire process is electronic at this point. Is that correct? Do they have to do anything where they actually physically sign a piece of paper, or can everything be done like on a computer, like by way of a PDF?
Well, it depends on the program that they're actually going for, Jason.
Okay.
If it's an economic injury disaster loan program, everything's online. The loan application takes you, less than 10 minutes to do. There's no uploading of the documentation into such time as SBA requires it. But that program strictly is an SBA direct financing through that program. So we ask everybody to go to sba.gov/coronavirus. And then you can probably just click on the application format and submit your application at that point in time.
Mm-hmm.
The PPP program actually is facilitated to our lending institutions here in Guam. We have 7 lenders. We've got ANZ, Bank of Guam, Bank of Hawaii, First Line Bank, Bank Pacific, and the 2 credit unions, which are Code 360 and Community First. So they're here to facilitate the PPP program. They're taking the applications in now as we speak, and so that's one avenue which they can get financing from that direction as well.
Okay, and then I'm sorry, just I know I said that was the last one, but I just thought about this before I let you go. As far as the status of the applications once they are submitted, for small business owners, is there like a URL that they can go to, or is it they basically submit the application and then they'll basically just have to wait until they are contacted by the SBA?
As it relates to the EIDL program, once they submit the application, they are given an application number, and at that point in time, SBA, about a week or so, SBA would probably get a hold of them and ask for additional information. Whereas with the PPP, that guidance is actually given with the lender that they deal with. The lenders will be in contact with them once they submit it in there.
Okay, Ken. Well, we certainly do appreciate the time once again, my friend. And I know you were saying earlier, the major roadblock was just the overwhelming surge of applications really caused your systems, like I said, to fall over. So the fact that has been rectified is a major step in helping these small businesses hopefully get on the road to recovery or provide them some sort of information they need. So we thank you very much.
Right, and if I could just say one last thing, Jason.
Certainly.
If everyone could just migrate into our website, sba.gov/coronavirus. They can also find additional information on the U.S. Treasury homepage. Very good information on the PPP program, because SBA coordinates with the U.S. Treasury to actually provide guidance and rules and guidelines for our lending community as to how they're going to facilitate the PPP program. So those 2 websites are very key for obtaining information that would help.
All right, man. Can do, will do, because we're a step ahead of you already. Because when Nestor did that last story on you guys last week, we put links to both of those both of those websites on our site and on our app. So thank you very much.
Thank you for your support as well.
All right. Thank you for your work too.
Yeah. Thank you, Ken. I just want to throw in my thank you too.
All right. Thanks, Chris.
Okay, Ken. Appreciate it.
Can never say that enough.
Right.
These guys are working hard.
Ken Luan from the SBA, of course, with some a great info. We're going to get Phil Flores from the Guam Banking Association also on the show to talk about their involvement with the Paycheck Protection Program. And of course, I got to ask, and this is something we're going to talk about a little bit here. Congressman Mike Nicholas is, just to be clear, in a Facebook post, he touted these as solutions that would be available to the people of Guam within a week's time. But, these